Hello, students. Happy Thursday, or as I like to call it, Happy Friday Eve. I hope you're all doing well. Now, let's dive into Thursday. So here we go. Okay, we'll start with the Journeys workbook because that's what I had up first. So this day, Thursday, there's a suffix sort. So let's talk about suffixes really quick. Suffixes are something that you get to put on the end of a word to change the meaning a little bit. So, for instance, the suffixes that we're using today are less and ness. Just one letter different, but they change the meaning. So if you add less to the back of a word, like painless, that means without pain. And if you add ness, that means like how it is in that place. So for instance, darkness, it's not just dark, there's darkness around. Does that make sense? So less means less. When you add it to the word, it makes the word mean less of that word. So like helpless, like you don't have anybody to help you, you're alone, you have less help, right? And then maybe thickness. Ooh, the state of this bread is that it's thick. And when we slice it, the thickness of the bread really helps hold the peanut butter or whatever. So ness is like how it is or the quality of being. And then, oh, and you can see that here. And then less is without. So if I was doing this one, I would say painless. Does that mean without, or does that mean the quality of being? Painless. Without pain, boom. So I'd check that box. Oh yeah. Except it doesn't work on mine quite because it's the master copy. So anyway, we'll just move on from there. Okay, next you're going to use these words for the next questions. You get to rewrite the sentences using stronger language. So Mount Everest is a very tall mountain. So how could we use what word here could make that more exciting? Maybe, Mount Everest is a towering mountain. Oh, that creates a better image in my mind. Or I could say something like, Mount Everest is a towering mountain whose summit shadows my small village, or something. That makes the writing even more exciting. And so you're practicing today with these words, but try to include that in your own writing as well. Then you get to use more adjectives that compare. That's a little bit of what we did yesterday. So that's what you're doing for the Journeys workbook. Then for the check-in, it's just like the other days. What did you read? How long did you read? Oh, and I want to see what book you read too, not just how long you read, but what book you read as well, because I love hearing what you're reading. It's really fun to see what you're all reading. So that's good. And then area and perimeter. We have more of this today. So we're finding the perimeter. Now, remember, area is how much space it covers. And then the perimeter is how much around. So we don't know what the area is inside because this isn't tiled. And so we'd have to figure it out another way. But the perimeter, we are able to see what each edge is. So we can add all of these up. Next, there's the perimeter of the figure. Same thing, we're finding the perimeter. We know that this one is the same as this one down here, and this one is the same as this one. Ooh. Then you get to find the perimeter of other things in inches and centimeters. Now, if you don't have a ruler, that's okay. You could just use a finger, paper clip, a crayon, a pencil, whatever you have. So say you have your computer screen, and I have this nail file right here. And so I don't have a ruler, but I'll use this nail file and say, measure it carefully. It's about 1 1/3 on the side. And then on the bottom, it's 2 nail files. So then I would have to add all of those up and figure out the perimeter and the area. Now, when you're finding the area of a rectangular shape, you can just multiply both sides because it creates an array if we were to tile it. Now, the perimeter is just always the outside edge. We just add, there's no multiplication with perimeter, just area. And then you have some word problems that you get to solve. So math is going to be pretty fun today. And if it's taking a while, then you can just stop wherever you are. I don't want it to take longer than 45 minutes, and if it is, then you can just stop. But don't forget to turn in what you do have. Okay, finally for writing today, you're going to write why climbers need to be prepared on Mount Everest. And then use evidence from the story because that will help you know why they need to be prepared. We learned from the story, here's one example that I can think of, but you have to find the rest. We learned from the story that Temba took his glove off to tie his shoe and then his fingers almost froze, and that was his mistake. And he wasn't prepared and he couldn't make it to the top even though he was only 70 feet away. That would be so sad. um, so why do climbers need to be prepared? Why is it important? And use evidence from that text. Okay, now that is a lot, and I know it's a lot. So just do your best, do what you can. Don't spend forever on it, and don't be mad if it's frustrating. Also, I'm here for you. I'd love to help you. And yes. I will add a Padlet to the bottom of the page if you want to contribute to the discussion board. Have any of you ever hiked? And if so, do you like hiking? That's just a for fun thing to kind of talk to each other and associate together. So that's what I know. Anyways, happy Friday Eve, and I'll see you tomorrow.